Man is back.
Oh, okay, boys. Oh my gosh, the ring got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have the leopard. Oh, look at that, my God.
This is your boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy, That's the True Inferno. Back at it with another Pokemon Unite commentary video for you guys. And this is the second of 5 videos that I have recorded within the span of 24 hours, if you can believe it or not. So, last week's video that y'all saw, I recorded that one first. That was about the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett Smith scenario, you know, at the Oscars. So, that was last week. This week is regarding about a live stream or an award show that happened, ironically enough. 2 videos about award shows. Last week was about the Oscars. This one was about one that happened, as I'm recording this, that is, 18 days ago. I'm talking about the Streamer Awards. So yes, I said I was going to do a topic about this, but it's actually a bigger topic than just the Streamer Awards. So while I did not see the Streamer Awards live and in person, I did, you know, skim and scan through it, and I actually looked up all the nominees in the categories, excuse me, to get my take on everything. So here it is, and y'all might be confused. This might be one of the most controversial topics that I've done, but yo, we're gonna do it. So yeah, let's go ahead with that. So y'all probably wondering, wait a minute, if y'all missed it or y'all was not aware in terms of what is the Streamer Awards. So the Streamer Awards was basically an online award show that basically awarded streamers. So let me give you guys my original topic out the way, which is me reviewing the Streamer Awards itself. And the reason why it's the shorter topic is because I did not see it from start to finish. I only like skip and scan through it. You know, I just saw like a few seconds, then skip 10 seconds ahead or whatever the case may be. I'm dead serious. That's legit what I did. So there's that. Now, looking at these awards, they're not bad. Although there's some that I feel like they're missing. You know, one would be like the best sports streamer award, the best mobile streamer award, the best streamer that plays scary games, the best TCG streamer award. That means, you know, trading card games. You know, so obviously you got Pokemon, you got Yu-Gi-Oh, you got all these other trading card games. That should have been on here. Maybe other games or categories like Pokemon. So that could cover Unite. That could cover Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, even Pokemon Go, whatever the case may be. Although you could put that in mobile as well. There's a lot of categories that they're missing. I also saw Rising Star Award. And some might say, well, it should be like a small streamer award. But then that is subjective because what counts as a small streamer? You know, less than 100 subs or views, rather, not views, followers, less than 1,000, whatever the case may be. Not to mention, it looks like all of these awards are based off of streamers who are on Twitch and not necessarily focused on YouTube. So there's that as well. So they may want to do something about that in the future regarding Twitch and YouTube. Now, here's one that is interesting idea. I'm not sure, you know, how well this would go, but I'm a little iffy about it myself. I will be honest. I'm a little iffy about it. The best black streamer award, something along those lines. And the reason why I'm iffy about it is because when you say black, as in black person, you're not just talking about African Americans. Obviously, there are black people in Africa. There are black people in London or England, for example, KS1, for example, or KSI, whatever his name is. There's black people in Australia. There are black people all over the place, even though there's not a lot of black people, but they're still black in comparison to other races, but there's still black people all over the place. So if you want to do like a black streamer award, whatever the case may be, that's fine, or whatever the case may be. I mean, that's a possibility, that's an idea, but you know, that's the thing, because when I saw the streamer awards and everything that I heard, so for starters, if memory serves me correctly, I could be wrong with this, because again, I did not watch it from start to finish, but based on what I have seen and what I have heard, there was only one black person there. I'm not even sure, well, I mean black person. I'm not sure they were African American or not. I have no clue, but there was only one black person there, and it was this one chick. I don't remember who it is. I saw her post on Twitter a while back, but I cannot find her. I don't remember who it is, and she wasn't even nominated for anything, which is weird because when I looked at the Streamer Wars official website and in regards to how to get in there, it was like, yo, ain't nobody, like anybody cannot just get in there. So obviously because the pandemic still thing, so that's understandable. So my mindset is, oh, they must have just toned it down to the nominees and those close to the nominees. So that could be the case with this one chick, but I was like, how did she get in? But whatever the case may be, she was apparently, again, I'm not 100% sure, but the way this is looking, she was apparently the only black person there. Now, in terms of the nominees themselves, out of all the nominees, and they had a good number of categories, if I'm looking at this correctly, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, 26. There was 26 categories, 4 nominees per category. Now, granted, some of them were nominated twice, and others, best content organization. We're talking a group there, and stuff like that. But out of all the nominees, there was only 2 black people. Actually, no, that's not true. 3 black people, or 3 African Americans that were nominated. T-Pain, and the other 2 were Best Stream Event. Obviously, T-Pain was nominated for Best Music Streamer, which he did not win, by the way. Then we got Best Streamed Event, where you got Shitcon by, and I'm gonna butcher his name, Nempol, Nmplol. He didn't win that one. And then the other one was Best Just Chatting Streamer, and there was Bruce Drop 'Em Off, and he did not win that one as well. So obviously, none of the black nominees won. But actually, I'll be honest, I thought it might be only just 1 nominee or 2, but 3 is like, okay, it's not bad. But why did I bring all this up? So let me get my Streamer Wars review out the way. So while obviously there's work that needs to be done, I think there's the more categories that could be added to this. And y'all probably might say, well, that may make it a lot. I mean, obviously they could do what other awards shows do, not have a presenter and, talk about every single category. They'll just speed right through some of them like, yo, and the winner of this award is boom. And, here's the nominees. The winner is boom. And then they move on to the next one. The winner, the nominees, boom. The nominees, the winner, boom. Actual award shows do that. So they could do that here as well. They don't need a presenter for each category. They don't need like a video montage highlighting each they don't, and we don't need to hear from no. So now another thing that is interesting though is out of the 3 nominees that are African American, or let's be black, because there was no, based on what I saw, there was no other black person outside of the African Americans that were nominated. None of them was there. Like none of the nominees who were black was there. So there's that as well, based on what I saw anyway. Now, again, this ain't bad. And I'm not accusing the Streamer Wars of anything, because here's the thing I realized as well. The Streamer Wars basically told the public, even though I didn't hear about this, but they told the public, hey, the Streamer Wars are coming up. You have 2 weeks to give us your streamers or your favorite streamers who you think should be nominated for this category, that category, blah, blah, blah. And they went with the top 4 that were nominated for each category. And 70% of that they used to pick the winner. The 30 was used by some type of committee. I have no clue who the committee is, but which is, one of the reasons why I don't like Right to War Zors. I talked about this last week because, can you really trust the committee? Can you really trust the fans and stuff like that? And that's for every single award show, not just this one, every single award show. Again, I said this in last week's video. So there you go with that. Now, how they did it, again, I have no problem with how they did it. I'm not accusing the Streamer Awards of being racist in terms of, oh, there's not enough black people nominated, or there were only 1 black person there, whatever the case may be. I'm not accusing them of that. I'm not accusing the people who actually submitted their nominations of being racist. Like, oh man, they should submit. No, I'm not doing that. Now we get to the main topic of this video, and that is this. When it comes to streaming, it is not an African American thing. Let me explain. In general, there are certain categories or hobbies or interests that in general African Americans are interested in, and there are others that in general African Americans are not. So, not trying to be, stereotypical, but if you were to look at the typical general African American, because I'll be honest, I do not define that at all. I can relate to that. you know, because I grew up around that. I grew up under that culture, under that atmosphere. So I have some traits of the general typical African American, but for me to say I purely represent that, no, that's not even close. I'm letting you know right now, that's not even close. Well, you know, again, it's a mixed breed with me. But at the end of the day, the general typical African American would be interested in rap music. They don't know the difference between rap and hip hop, by the way. They'd be interested in rap music, R&B. If they play video games, it's normally 2K. It normally Madden. It might be what? Call of Duty. The dudes are interested in cars. You know, they like to go to the club, you know, get drunk and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm going to be a little bit funny. They like watermelon. They like fried chicken. They like grape drink, stuff like that. And there's others that oh yeah, they are interested in sports. Is basketball and football. For the most part, that's it. It's only just those two. They're not interested in any other sport out there. And that's pretty much it for the most part. Again, for the most part, that's a typical general African American. And, you know, they like to dance. You know, they known to start up dances. Again, you know, dabbing, that was us. We created that, you know. Like, the majority of those dances that you see in Fortnite, that was us. You know, that was nobody else. That was us. It's just that other people took it and made it more mainstream, because when you think of mainstream, you think about, like, what's mainstream worldwide. We, as African Americans, are not just the minority within America, obviously, but we are the minority within the entire world. So, for those of you who don't know, like, when it comes to dabbing, which is outdated, by the way, and all these dances on Fortnite, whatever the case may be, that was us. Nobody else. That was us. Like, we did that 2, 3, 4, 5 years prior, before it became mainstream, before it became worldwide. I'm letting you know right now. Now, there are some things that we are on top of. You know, we're on top of athletics. We're on top of, you know, dancing, entertainment, stuff like that. But at the same time, there are some things that we are considered to be behind on as well. Streaming is one of them, you know. So there's not a lot of us within the streaming universe. I'm gonna call it that. I'm not gonna call it a community. I feel like it's small time in comparison to what it really is. The streaming is a universe, the streaming universe, in terms of people that stream and that people actually show up and watch the streamers. There's not a lot of us in that universe in comparison to everybody else. So when you see, for example, out of everybody that I looked at, out of the 3 nominees that made it here, T-Pain, you can look at it and say, oh yeah, it's T-Pain. He's a celebrity. So naturally, he's going to get a bunch of views or a bunch of followers. And then I look at Bruce Drop Him Off. I'm like, yeah, that's probably the rare exception where I look at him and say, yo, this cat got almost 600,000 followers on Twitch, which is good. But at the same time, where based on what I have seen, I never hear his name under the same breath as a Pokemon, as a Amaranth, as a Dr. Disrespect, as a Ninja, you know, as some of these Luke Wig, as some of these other streamers. Why is that? Why is that? That's the question. And if you look at his content, like, no disrespect to him, but if you look at his content, he, in my eyes, represent or is relatable to the typical general African American if you look at his content. Now, granted, I saw him, either he was playing Fortnite, he was watching somebody else playing Fortnite, whatever the case may be. But, and again, Fortnite is not typically an African American thing to do, generally speaking, that is. So, he represent that type of culture. He represent that background or that atmosphere within the African American community. So the fact that he got that many views or followers is great, actually. It's great. But that's just one guy. That's just one African American streamer. You know, what about the rest? What about, you know, others? There's not a lot of us up there at that level. And even with him, again, based on what I have seen, because my first time hearing about him was at the Streamer Awards. I saw one of the black dudes nominated. I'm like, wait a minute, who's that guy? And he wasn't there. Out of the 4 nominees in that category, the best Just Chatting Streamer Award category, rather, he wasn't there. Out of the 4, if memory serves correctly, he was not there. Like, he was the only one out of those 4 that was not there. Now, I'm not saying, oh, they didn't invite him or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but I just want to throw that in there, that he was not there. But the thing is, like, if you look at a streamer, again, they do not represent the general, typical African American. They don't. And there's more of them within the community than those that don't represent that. So, like, for example, there's not a lot of me in comparison. You know, and there's a few others. Like, there's not a lot of a Black Okage in there, even though he can relate to the general typical African American community based on like how he is. If you've seen him all these years, although he is also a gamer, so he play games outside of the typical 2K, even though he do play 2K, but outside of the typical 2K and the Maddens, I don't recall him ever seeing him play Madden, or the Call of Duties, where he do play, because he's known at G4 as the shooter guy. So obviously he will play Call of Duty, but he plays other games outside of that. Right now, I think his favorite game is Elden Ring. And again, that's not a typical general African American thing to do. It's not. But, and then of course you got guys like Chris Smooth, who's got his start on YouTube, and now he started streaming on Twitch. And yeah, he mostly known for playing 2K. Once upon a time, he was known for playing Call of Duty as well, but he stopped playing Call of Duty. And what he's doing on Twitch, Sleeping Dogs, which is not, to a degree, not a general typical African American thing to do, because the setting is basically out in, I don't know where the setting is. It's like in an Asian setting, so that don't relate. But because of what you're doing in there, you got that Grand Theft Auto vibe, which some black people do play, or African Americans do play. Then there's relatability there to some degree. But prior to that, he was playing, ironically enough, Grand Theft Auto on stream. He was doing Among Us with the viewers, so that's different. But there was I forgot what that game he was playing. He was playing this one game, and that was on stream that was not relatable to the African American community. I think it was Dying Light. I don't remember what it was. But again, the likes of the Chris Moves and the Black Okages, even though they got, well, the Black Okage, he could average between 200 to 500 viewers per stream, which depending on what game he's playing. Chris Move can average 2 to 1,000 viewers per stream, but they're not on the level, based on what I have seen, they're not on the same level and going by followers as a Bruce Drop 'em Off, and they're not selling the level as an Amaranth or a Shroud or, you know, or the Luke Rig or anything like that. They're not up there. And really the main reason why that is because relatability, you know, which is why there's not a lot of African Americans or really black people that was nominated at the Stream Awards, because again, it's really all about relatability. Like, there's a lot of people in the world that is not relatable to the African American community or how they work or how they look, whatever the case may be. And that's fine. Like, you can't force people to relate to somebody. That's not how it goes. You can't force people to like something. That's not how it goes. So while I can't blame the people who voted or who nominated these streamers, I can't even blame them for voting the winners or whatever the case may be. But I can look at my own community and say, like, yo, we need more of y'all in this streaming universe, so we can get more of us up there, up to that level. You know, so you can elevate Bruce Drop 'em Off more to the point where anytime you mention, assuming it's not controversy, because that's an entirely different thing. But if you're mentioning Amaranth, if you're mentioning Pokemon, if you're mentioning Dr. Disrespect or Ninja, Bruce Drop 'em Off. He's right there. That's the point where we need to be at, where Bruce Drop 'em Off, guys like him or girls, you know, at that level can reach that level where they're in the same level as a Ninja, as a Dr. Disrespect and things of that nature. But it's not there yet. And there's two reasons for that. Relatability is one, and two, there's not enough of us within the streaming universe, because at this point in time, it's not our cup of tea, genuinely speaking. Now, me personally, again, I stream, so obviously I'm a part of the streaming universe, and you know, I have my favorite, you know, I have my people that I watch, wherever the case may be. But at the end of the day, the general African American community does not have the same interest as me. And obviously, everybody is their own individual, so everybody have their own different interests, whatever the case may be. But generally speaking, looking at the entire African American community as a whole, there's certain things that they are interested in, and there's certain things that they're not interested in. And streaming, whether they're doing it or watching it, is not one of them. And that's how it is at this point in time. Because that could change in the future. Because remember, because once upon a time, anime was not a thing within the African American community. You were ridiculed if you were like into anime, if you're into gaming at that level, whatever the case may be. Like, you would be called a nerd or whatever the case may be. Now nerds are cool, and you're seeing rappers now referencing Naruto and stuff like that. So we're getting there. We're just not there yet when it comes to what the rest of the world is doing, whether that's a good thing or it's a bad thing. We're not there yet, but we are getting there. So when it comes to streaming and supporting our own kind, it's not there yet. And at the rate I see it on Twitch anyway, I don't know about YouTube, but on Twitch, the closest person we have towards that level, Dr. Disrespect, Pokemon, Ninja, whatever the case may be, is Bruce Drop 'em Off, based on what I have seen so far. And I'm going to call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know what this is. This is boy New J Gatsby, a.k.a. the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.